Have you ever caught your toddler trying to sweep the floor with a doll, babble into a TV remote like it's a phone, or sternly scold their stuffed animals using your exact tone? If you've seen these little moments of mimicry, congratulations, you've entered the magical, and sometimes hilarious, stage where your child becomes a tiny mirror, reflecting everything you do. But here's the thing, this isn't just cute. It's one of the most powerful windows for teaching your child lifelong skills, values, and even their inner voice. In this video, we're diving into how to harness this imitation phase intentionally. By the end, you'll know how to turn everyday moments into lessons about kindness, responsibility, and curiosity without needing fancy toys or extra time. Let's start with the why behind imitation and 2 simple ways to model what matters most. Why imitation is your secret teaching tool. Between ages 1 and 3, your child's brain is primed to learn through observation. Think of it like their mind is a sponge, soaking up not just what you do, but how you do it. Did you know toddlers as young as 14 months can mimic complex actions they've seen just once? That's why this stage is golden. Whether it's wiping spills, expressing frustration, or showing empathy, they're studying you like a tiny scientist. Let me share a story. My friend Lisa once joked that her 2-year-old started saying, "Oh no, Mama's so tired" every afternoon, a phrase Lisa muttered daily during the 3 p.m. slump. It hit her, her child wasn't just copying words. She was mirroring attitudes. That's when Lisa started swapping "Ugh, I'm exhausted" with "Mama's going to take a deep breath, want to join me?" Within weeks, her daughter began taking deep breaths with her dolls. This is the power of intentional modeling. Key point 1, model the tiny habits you want to see. You don't need grand gestures. Start with micro moments. For example, if you want your child to say please and thank you, let them hear you say it to the cashier, the dog, even the toaster. "Thank you, toaster, for the crispy bread." It sounds silly, but consistency is key. Here's a game changer, narrate your actions as you do them. "Mama's washing her hands to stay healthy," or "Daddy's putting his shoes away so we don't trip." This does 2 things, it teaches vocabulary and normalizes responsibility. Key point 2, turn copycat time into connection. When your child mimics you, lean into it, even if it slows you down. If they're folding laundry, i.e., throwing socks, sit beside them and say, "Wow, you're helping just like Mama. Let's fold together." Praise the effort, not perfection. This builds their confidence and reinforces teamwork. But what about when they imitate less than ideal behaviors? Let's say they start yelling when upset, after seeing siblings argue. Instead of scolding, try, "I see you're feeling big feelings. Let's practice using our calm voices." Then model taking a breath and speaking softly. They'll learn emotional regulation through imitation. Transition to section 2. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds great, but what if they pick up habits I don't want them to? Or how do I keep this from feeling like a chore? Don't worry, we're tackling those questions next, including how to handle oops moments and turn imitation into play. Let's get real for a second. We've all had days where we snap at traffic, forget to tidy up, or scroll through our phones while our kids clamor for attention. And guess what? Those moments matter too, because they're opportunities to model resilience and humility. Key point 3, when they imitate your oops moments. Imagine this, you stub your toe and mutter a frustrated "darn it." And the next day, your toddler drops their spoon and shouts "darn it" with a cheeky grin. Your reaction here is everything. If you laugh, they'll repeat it for the laughs. If you scold, they might feel confused or ashamed. Instead, try acknowledging it calmly. "Oh, you heard Mama say that." Sometimes grown-ups say things when they're frustrated, but we can also say, "Oops, let me try again." Then demonstrate the do-over. This teaches them that mistakes happen and repair is possible. Key point 4, play your way to life skills. Imitation doesn't have to be serious. Turn it into games. For example, the mirror game, take turns copying each other's silly faces or movements. This builds empathy, "I see you," and body awareness. Pretend chores, give them a mini broom while you sweep, or a rag to clean windows. Say, "You're such a good helper. Where should we dust next?" One mom told me her son refused to brush his teeth until she started brushing hers at the same time, making exaggerated sounds. He giggled and copied her, and now it's their twice daily ritual. Key point 5. Use stories to reinforce values. Kids imitate fictional characters too. If your child loves a book or show, ask questions like, "What would Daniel Tiger do if his friend was sad?" Role-play scenarios where they practice sharing or kindness. Over time, these stories become part of their inner guide. Transition to Section 3. By now, you've got tools to model habits, handle slip-ups, and make imitation fun. But how do you take this beyond toddlerhood? Let's talk about building lifelong skills and why this phase is just the beginning. Key point 6. From imitation to independence. As your child grows, encourage them to add their own twist to what they've learned. For example, if they've mastered mimicking you setting the table, ask, "Where should you put the napkins today?" This shifts them from copying to creating, building critical thinking. Another idea, when they imitate a skill, like pouring water, resist the urge to fix spills. Instead, say, "You're learning. What should we do next?" This builds problem solving and grit. Key point 7. Imitation isn't just for toddlers. Even 4- and 5-year-olds use imitation to master complex skills, like conflict resolution or empathy. If they see you apologize after a mistake, they'll start saying "I'm sorry" authentically. If you greet neighbors warmly, they'll mimic social confidence. Closing thoughts and call to action. Friends, every time your child copies you, they're saying, "I want to be like you." That's both a gift and a responsibility. But here's the good news, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. When you model curiosity, kindness, and resilience, even in small ways, you're giving them tools no toy or app ever could. So this week, I challenge you, pick one tiny habit to model intentionally. Maybe it's saying "let's try again" when you drop something, or turning chore time into a dance party. Then watch what happens. I'd love to hear your stories in the comments. What's your child copying lately, and how are you leaning into it? If this video resonated with you, hit like and subscribe. We're here to help you navigate these wild, wonderful early years, one imitation at a time. Remember, you're not just raising a child. You're raising a future adult who'll change the world. And it starts with these everyday moments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep being the amazing parent you are.